off and the goal sands is raised. Everyone here knows what that could mean to this football.
Good evening, Bournemouth fans. It was AFC Bournemouth 1, Rotherham 0 tonight at Dean Court. It was a very windy night in BH7 this evening with two teams that play very contrasting styles of football. It was never going to be a classic, but meteorological conditions aside, what we saw tonight, in my opinion, barring about 30 seconds of brilliance, wasn't actually that much different to football under Tyndall. A new managerial appointment for me actually can't come quick enough. But look, let's face it, we've played 3 under him and, well, we've done all right, aren't we? Still unbeaten. There's a reason to be happy. But you've got to say Rotherham probably can feel aggrieved at not having emerged with something from that, especially with some of the best chances in the game. Ladapo in the second half probably should have been a bit better when he blazed over, and an inexplicable knock over the bar from about a yard out in the first half. What happened there? But we stay in touch. That's the main thing. There is definitely work to do. And this is the free-for-all. We're on for just an hour tonight. Straight afterwards, Tom Jordan's going to be here with the live player ratings fan vote, so you can have your say and determine the ratings. Of course, you can take part tonight in the usual way, and that is by going on your browser, your phone, or your desktop, whatever, to afcbpodcast.com/take part. There's the link at the bottom of the screen, and we would love to get you involved. And we'll probably whip through people because there's a lot of people trying to get in the room. First person I'm going to bring in is actually Mr. Tiggs, who's here with us. Tiggsy, how are you, fella? You all right?
Yeah, all right. Clean sheet.
Yeah,
Take that.
Not a classic though, was it? Eh?
No, the football. My expectations are way off. I go into every game expecting us to attack teams and show a bit more guile and a bit more creativity. And every time I feel disappointed. I do drift off of the game as well. I hope you haven't got a test for me, Sam, because there are moments where it phases out, doesn't it? It's what's going on. But it was really interesting. I liked the game only from the fact that, when you think about our history of Rotherham and we think about that season and the amount of fight that them and Luton and us have had to show to get to where we've got to. Difference is they're still showing that fight, aren't they? Like for me, they chased us down all game long and made it really tricky for us. And I'd just like to see a little bit of that from this team. I know that we're supposed to have these incredible players, of class. At the same time, just a bit more fight, a bit more fire in their belly and a bit more aggression, I think would go a long way.
Certainly would. It'd be really interesting to get Aaron's take on tonight. So we're going to bring him in now. How are you, sir? You doing all right?
Relax now. That last, I said from the beginning, if we're still 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go, we're going to concede. It felt like Millwall all over again. But luckily we held on. I was a bit, when we saw the team, I thought Pearson would start. This is the sort of game that would be perfect for him. Having said that, I thought Lewis Cook did well. He gave us a bit more drive and that creativity. I thought Arnie again was ineffective. I don't know if it's the role he's got or he's just not getting in the game. And the problem with Arnie on the left is that Stanislaus is far superior on the left than he is on the right. And so he was also wasted for most of the game from what I could see. And as soon as he went on the left, he started creating and was a real threat. So Danjuma is still a real issue for me of where he's going to fit into this team. But I think for me, there were 3 men actually who stood out. I thought Cameron Carter-Vickers was exceptional. I think what he gives us is that no nonsense bullying centre half. He's not the tallest, but he's just stocky and he's a proper centre half. Again, I thought Billing was outstanding. Again, he was chasing balls, and I think we found his position now. He is not a deep lying midfielder, and he's a liability there. But in that kind of tip of the 3, he's exceptional. He obviously gets goals. He was running endlessly tonight as well, and I thought Jeff Lerma was exceptional as well. So, and also to be fair, Lloyd Kelly I think was better than he has been. I think he's a far better centre back than he's a left back, and he did well, but. It's, as you said, Sam, in your intro, it's not brilliant football. Again, they created the best chances. Again, I can't remember their keeper making a real save apart from obviously the shot we had on target. But what Woodgate seems to have done is organise a defence. He's kept with that back 4. They seem organised. They seem to know their roles. And I guess it's just getting those front 4 or 5, whoever we choose to play, whoever it is where, whether it's Jack or Brooks coming on, to get them flowing. And I think we will see games against teams better where we do play better. And I think tonight was always going to be a scrap, and we fought it out, and we did well.
Well, Mark said exactly that. Scrappy performance, but 3 points much needed. Nice to see us not playing from the back tonight. And yeah, we did seem to try to go direct a little bit more often. But I want to pick up on one of your points about Junior Stanislas there, Aaron. And you're right, because when he plays on that left side, there's two things that he can do. We've seen the way he takes it round players, and then he'll get to the byline. Case in point, that goal against Man United where he nutmegs Harry Maguire, back in Project Restart. And then sometimes he also will drift in on his right foot. By putting him on the right, you're basically taking out 50% of his game.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't tend to drift in. He did it once, I think, where he just ran straight across the pitch. Wasn't really effective. And when you've also got Dan Juma seemingly not wanting to pass the ball as well, and then David Brooks, who came on and he did all right. Sometimes it's like, Brooks has almost got a free pass to actually play on that right side, because he was played on that right for a number of occasions. We all thought, how come he's playing there? But, with the scenario that I've just mentioned, maybe that's why.
Yeah, I mean, he's got no confidence, David Brooks, when he came on. He ducked a few challenges. He just didn't see much for it. We know he's got that quality. I think it was probably the right substitution. I was praying that it was going to be Arnie coming off and not Stanislas, because I thought it might be a straight swap. It's really difficult with Arnie because he's won a game single-handedly, and he has got quality without a shadow of a doubt. But I just don't think that's his best position. And Kirk might talk about it when he comes on later, if he comes on, but up front. But then again, I thought, and I haven't mentioned Surridge yet. I thought he was a handful all game. He didn't stop running. He against two very tall centre halves. He didn't win huge amount in the air, but he gave us that outlet where it stuck, and I just think he was a handful, and I think he deserves to keep his place, certainly while Dom's still out.
John Sparks with us as well tonight, so we're going to bring in John now. And John, I think it was you that made that point actually last week about Junior Stanislas, the fact that his main thing that he does, he likes to drift in, whereas he can't do that. And I found that he wasn't as effective tonight, but it was that right side where the goal came from. And for about 30 seconds for tonight, we almost saw the Bournemouth of old, John.
Yeah, and I think in Adam Smith, in his part in that goal, and just his general performance sort of typified that. I think as much as, he won the header, got it to Surridge. Surridge did exactly the right thing of making sure he occupied his man, provided the space for Smith, and then a wonderful cross for the goal for Billing. I do think it was nice to see Smith just going up and down the wing all the time, and also that classic Smith dribble from the right hand side where he just uses the outside of his foot and he does about a 180-degree turn, just with the outside of his right foot going past three men. He used to do that 5 times a game every week, and we just haven't seen that from him recently. So he sort of typified, getting more from that man, but. I think you were right, Aaron, before. Surridge was a real handful. He didn't stop annoying those centre-backs at all. And by the end of the game, he had nothing left. I mean, that shot in the 95th minute, you just think if that was 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, he probably puts that at least more in a corner. But he just ran out of energy to even run into the corner with the ball. So there were a number of players that I felt left everything on the pitch today, which I was really pleased to see. The defence in general, apart from a few moments from Rico, was generally better. And yeah, there's a lot of comments I've seen that has just sort of said, God, that was annoying, or God, that was boring, or God, that was... I think, guys, that was a 1-0 win. That was the kind of scrappy 1-0 win we have not been getting all season. And I'm so here for those 3 points. I'll take those 3 points every day for the next 3 months if it gets us promoted. It's just, we know what this team is capable of. And I think, Sam, you were absolutely right. Most of that game wasn't any different to what we've seen on Jason Tindall. And I just feel as though particularly, just our lack of spirit in getting the ball into the final third with any kind of, impetus, it's just been something that's happened the last couple of seasons. And it's we need someone to really sort of shake things up in terms of just getting people to do simple things, just making sure that, if you're stood on your man, if you're still there and the ball hasn't moved after 5 seconds, just run into the open space, because there's going to be some. but people just don't seem to want to do that. And it's real basic attacking play. I'd just like to see that a bit more often.
Yeah, brilliant. It's lovely to see Keith Thomas here tonight. Keith, nice to see you, my friend. If you want to come on the chat, I'll post the StreamYard link just for you, because I really want to hear your opinion after that tonight. Would really appreciate it. A lot of people, Billy Day, Tiggs, talking about whereabouts the billing haters tonight. And he certainly had a good first half, didn't he?
It was a great first half. I think after about 5-10 minutes, I thought to myself, he's not going to like this game. They're closing us down. He's going to have a terrible game. And then what does he do? He puts on that performance. So just goes to show you, doesn't he? I think Woodgate has found, and he's talked about it a little bit in the Echo. There was an article about it, story about it. He's found a bit more of a position, a place for him where he can be a little bit more creative and not have to worry about doing the job that he was being asked to do before, which is great to see, because we wondered for a long time whether he'd be better off being pushed a little bit further forward, a bit more of an advanced role. So that was really, really good. It was interesting what John was saying there about impetus. And I sometimes wonder, and I'm really pleased we got 3 points today, really, ecstatic. And I'm glad the boys kept going and we held on, and because Rotherham had, plenty of chances to do something. But sometimes it does feel like if we were 1-0 down, we'd be playing better football in a way. We'd be pushing up more. And I think we saw that kind of under Tyndall a little bit as he was fading out. But actually, when we're on under the caution, actually a goal down, we do tend to perform a little bit better. So why aren't we coming out the games? I know we went 1-0 up, but why aren't we coming out the games and feeling that pressure to score more? It's just this kind of malaise, this kind of waiting for something to happen in the game that worries me.
Agreed. Now, we've just seen a tweet from Chris Temple, which I'm going to share with you guys. And that is him saying that Jonathan Woodgate says he is expecting to find out this evening whether he's going to be in charge of the next game, which, of course, is QPR on Saturday. So that's quite an interesting one, Aaron. Now, there have been certain names that have been bandied about today, including Thierry Henry. Before you go, can I get a little opinion from you on the Frenchman's name being linked to AFC Bournemouth?
Had all my Arsenal friends messaging me saying we're going to be their favourite team with Wilshere and Henry there. But my initial thought was, wow, what a name, big player. But that's what he was, a player. His managerial record was not good at Monaco. I don't think it's great at Montreal. Someone sent me a stat with goal difference was minus quite heavily on both accounts. He obviously knows the English game well. I think it'll be a big risk, a big gamble. So I think it'll be a gamble. That's the thing. If you're going to go for someone like Wagner, I keep coming back to Nigel Pearson. You kind of know what you're going to get. They got experience. So I don't know. In half of it excites me, and the other half it could be an absolutely horrendous decision. It's a difficult one. I mean, and some people are saying Woodgate should get the job. It's difficult. He's won 3 games out of 4, drawn the other one, 3 clean sheets. But I wonder if the players somewhat treading water until that decision's made. Obviously, the results have been good, but as other people, as Tiggs and John have said tonight, they're kind of someone needs to come in and shake them up and do something a little bit different. Whether that's Henry, I honestly don't know.
We will see. Aaron, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Thank you very much. Tiggs, we'll leave you in for a little bit because we'll do a bit of a back of the net team reunion because Jeff's going to come in as well. Jeff Hayward is here after watching that. Jeff, how are you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks, Sam. Yeah.
1-0, not convincing. Are we maybe doing Rotherham a bit of a disservice because they did what they did against us at their place at the New York Stadium? And, to their credit, I thought they actually did quite well. But maybe given the quality that we've got, we should be better.
I think tonight's game reminds you of just what a game of luck football can be. Because frankly, if I was Rotherham, I'd think we should have scored 3 goals there. One was a blinding save. One, I don't know how that defender kneed it over the bar from a yard out. And Lampardou should have scored, but blazed it over. So, they had 3 really good chances. And if we'd had those 3 chances and not scored 2 of those, you'd have been thinking what terrible finishing it was from us. So, we didn't really create a lot. I think the really worrying thing, I think John might have mentioned this before I came on, is that just the pattern of attacking play seems to have disappeared. I can't see what we're trying to do. We've got all these great quality players, but what are we trying to do? You know, aside from the break and get the overlapping fullback, which is how we scored against Burnley, it's how we scored again tonight. What happens? You know, with loads of possession, no real impetus to do anything with it, and that's what's a bit depressing. So, what was it? TJ said on our chat earlier. He said we need a bit of vavavoom up front.
Yeah, we all know who's referring to there.
But you know, it's somebody with a bit of understanding of how to get the best out of those players, and I think that would really help with the confidence. I'm not sure whether it's Wagner or whether it's Henry. I'm not sure it's Woodgate. I mean, it feels very similar to Tyndall, but the one thing that I think stood head and shoulders above everybody else was CCV, Cameron Carter-Vickers. What a player! And like a rock tonight, you know, it didn't matter that they were 6'4" giants up against him. He seemed to win everything and was there to block everything, did everything you would expect for solid centre half. Terrific.
Yeah, agreed. Can't say fairer than that, Mr. Tiggs. We'll give you a closing remark on the game, and also I'm really intrigued to hear what you've got to say on our new managerial appointment, because you know what, people are right on Twitter where they say every manager that's being linked to us, they've got a downside somewhere on their record. Look back and realise they were crap at that club, or you know, look at their record here. But for me, you know, aside from that, you know, aside from the fact that some have got glittering, you know, careers as a player, I'm just looking for someone that's been there and done it. And for me, Wagner fulfills that criteria. But then you've got some people like Pearson as well. So you can see why people are kind of wanting Thierry. But what are your thoughts on that? But firstly, start with your overall summation of the game.
Yeah, I think the players today, I don't want it to sound like I don't think they didn't try, because I think they did. But I think Jeff's right in that, what is the direction of our play? How are we trying to play football? How are we trying to win games? And I just don't think the players really know that. And I think they struggled to know that a little bit under Jason, and certainly now under Woodgate. I've not seen a massive change. We're getting wins because we're probably a little bit better at trenching ourselves in and sticking up for ourselves a bit more, and not letting those easy goals go in. But going forward is a concern. That's the thing that we're losing. I think Jeff's alluding to that as well. So I think we do need a voice, a new voice now. We've made the decision. We've said to Jason, it's time for you to go. So we need to get somebody in. And the longer this time goes on, the longer the clock is ticking, we're not getting that new voice. Because although you've got Jonathan Woodgate, and I'm glad that he's done well, you know, he's still surrounded by the same names, the same people, and we're not seeing much of a change from what we were doing before. So for me, I agree with you, Sam. Someone like Wagner would be great because he's got a team promoted, arguably at the time, with less quality players than we've got now with Huddersfield, from the Championship to the Premier League. But at the same time, I'll take anyone at the moment. And I know that sounds terrible, but I just think if they're going to pull the trigger and do it now, because otherwise we're just going to end up going, if we go like a few more months, or you know, it's what it feels like this, the season's over, isn't it? We've got 2 months.
Yeah. However, do we want another person on the AFC Bournemouth books that people don't know how to pronounce his name? Wagner, Stanislas, Billings, plural. Don't know what that's all about. We've just got so many of them, so it's another commentator's nightmare. Well, especially
somebody telling me we had Thierry Henry managing us. Yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what we don't want. John, thoughts on a new manager, and you know, what do we need to do different at QPR on Saturday?
God, I'd love if I could have some influence on us doing things differently, but
play with tempo.
Yeah, well, I do think. I mean, I saw someone making a comment to give Rotherham credit, and I think we should give them credit for being the team that, you know, doing exactly what we would expect from Rotherham, and they do it very well. That's why they've got a really good chance of staying up this season, despite having, you know, one of the lowest budgets in the division. You know, they made things very difficult for us, and although we weren't at our best, they still had a really good chance of getting at least a point from this game. They didn't. Maybe we got a bit lucky. You know, that's one way of looking at it. But I would like to just see a higher tempo against QPR. I mean, to be fair to QPR, they beat Brentford tonight 2-1. So, and they came from behind to do it. So there's there can be no underestimating any team in this division. And even if we go 1-0 up on the weekend, we've got to be very careful, because if they've done it once and they can do it twice. So as for the manager, I was just looking up some stats, and Thierry Henry's managerial record does not look good. It just doesn't. And I mean, I was aware of his terrible time at Monaco. I pulled it up, and he had a 20% win rate at Monaco from 20 games. To be fair, that Monaco team wasn't good. It was down there for a reason, because they sold all their best players previously. And then at Montreal, 29 games in, he's won 9, drawn 4, lost 16, a minus 12 goal difference. I don't know how good that Montreal team is, but the one thing I would say, that if he did get the job, you don't know what he's like with a team that's one of the best in the division. So at the moment, he's only played with mid-table or lower-table teams. So you might see something. Patrick Vieira, I would be much more into if we're going to pick an ex-Arsenal legend. I'd much rather have Vieira. But personally, I completely agree with what was said before. We need someone that has done it before. We need someone that has taken a team and got them promoted. And as much as Wagner made some sort of record about an incredibly low goal difference and still got up, he didn't have a great team. He did very well with the team that he had, got them up, and then kept them up in the Premier League despite what they spent and what they had when they came up. So he is my preferred candidate because he has that experience. Whoever comes in, I will back them, but I will still call them out if I'm not happy with what they're doing. And that's all they can expect from a passionate fans like we do on here.
Brilliant. John, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Problem. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, John. Thanks very much. And also to Mr. Tiggs. Nice to see your beautiful face again. Hopefully seeing you on a show very, very soon, right?
Yeah, you will indeed. Yeah, I'll be catching up with your mate Tony Funnell very soon. So, tune in.
Excellent stuff. Will do. And Jeff, I'll give you a closing statement if you want to provide one.
Well, yeah, I think Saturday is going to be tough. QPR got an amazing win tonight against Brentford, so there'll be no pushovers. There's some bloke called Charlie Austin playing up front who's bound to score against us, because that's the law of football. Yeah. I expect he'll start with probably about the same sort of lineup that finished the game, or nearly finished it. Anyway, I dropped Danjuma to the bench because I think he's just a little bit of a liability the longer game goes on, as he was a bit tonight. And Brooks looked a bit sharper. So Brooks, Stanislas, Surridge, I thought battled really well, won a lot of free kicks and created the goal. So keep him in. And maybe keep Wilshere in the back pocket as well, just in case we need him. But I can easily see us grabbing another 1-0 on Saturday and it being pretty ugly like that, actually. But I wouldn't care, because I think we just got to win games wherever we can at the moment. And if we get a win against Rangers on Saturday, that'd be fantastic.
Brilliant. Jeff, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, no problem, Sam. See you soon.
See you soon. Right, okay, so we're going to bring in this gentleman, Keith Thomas, is with us. Hello, Keith. How are you, mate?
Hello, mate. Yeah. Lockdown's a bit of a struggle at the moment, but it's good to be on here, Sam. Good to be on here.
Mate, I'm glad to see your face because I've missed you. I saw you on Cherries Red Army the other week where you were calling everyone big boy. What's that all about? Are you going to call me that tonight?
It's
special anymore.
It's all because I lived in Brighton, isn't it, at some point, or near Brighton. But about the game tonight. The one thing I was pleased to see some work rate. We worked hard all the way through, which we haven't always done. We do take our foot off the gas somewhat, particularly in these harder games. But CCV, it'd be good to get him in, wouldn't it? Because we certainly need a solid centre back, and I thought he was pretty good tonight. But the manager, that's the big talking point. We definitely need to have a new voice in there, and I have to concur with the guys. I had a look at what Henry was doing, and he plays a possession-based football as well. And with Monaco, I don't know about Impact Montreal, but Monaco, it was slow, tepid, possession-based football. Isn't that what we're complaining at the moment? Whereas Wagner is going to play, obviously, gegenpressing. He's going to have progressive wing play. That's certainly a hallmark of his style. And if we don't go up this season, what he's particularly good at is in the transfer market, getting good, well-costed buys in, like Moy obviously for him, and Billing and what have you. So, and it'll definitely up the tempo and it'll be organised. The one thing I would say is he'll bring in his own coaching staff. It's not just him. You're buying into the whole philosophy of that. And are Bournemouth as a club, maybe as a fan base, ready to embrace that change? Because it will be, as I say, the classic German coaching. It'll be hard pressing from the top. He'll want work rate, so Mr. Brooks might have to watch out. He'll certainly want that going forward. But it will be more direct, and it'll be hopefully more incisive play.
I tell you what, mate, have you seen how much love for you there is on this chat here tonight? All the comments coming through.
Oh, my word.
A lot of them on screen. And you know what? Lockdown is getting to a lot of us, I've got to say.
Absolutely.
And, one person that's involved in something that hopefully can help is Mr. Simon Kay from Talking Cherries. How are you, Simon?
He might even get me to get my golf going.
We've got Morgan Scott here as well. We've got Morgan as well here.
Evening, Morgan.
All right. Simon,
hi,
how are you?
I'm all right, actually. I'm very well. Unlike many other people, it was a bit drab, but, you know, it wasn't long ago that we couldn't beat Derby and Sheffield Wednesday and all the rest of it. And I view the Championship as groupings of teams, and they all come with pros and cons. It's almost like playing a game of FIFA. Which team do you want to play? Some have got 9 in the attacking aisle, and some have got 9 in the defending aisle. And Rotherham are one of those teams that if we can pick up a 1-0 win, I actually don't care how it comes. I just want the 3 points and to bag them and get on. Yeah. And I think when you play other teams in the league, like QPR on Saturday, they'll play a different way. So we'll probably find that we've got a better ability to play the way that many people want us to play. I think it's about time that many fans, no disrespect to anybody, start analysing teams as they play and how we need to win against them as individual teams. It's not just always about we deserve to win because we're Bournemouth and we can play a better way. And when it comes to what Woodgate's done, happy. I'm very happy for him. He's managed to get us organised. There feels like there's a plan on the pitch, and the players are following the plan on the pitch. Rome wasn't built in a day, and I'm happy with what he's achieved. But he's not the manager that we need going forward. And I concur with a lot of things Keith has said and what John has said. But take the 3 points, keep the momentum, whatever will be, let's go.
Absolutely. And I think Woody has done to come into that situation. 1 minute he's an AM, and the next minute he's a manager. He's moved his family down here, which I didn't know. I think he's done tremendously well, and I hope we can utilise his talent. He's an ex-England international. He knows the Spanish lads because he can speak Spanish, and that's going to be a help on the training pitch. And having that little bit of experience to help these players, the more the better. We do lack although we've got a fairly experienced coaching team. Perchy and the big man, they've got their training badges. I do think it's worth having Woodgate around because he's going to be an extra voice, and it might be a useful bridge between obviously Wagner and his German coaches he's going to bring in, and also if he gets a job, or if it's Henri, he's going to provide experience in there to help him out. And what we're doing, and I think he's been tremendous for us, and I certainly wouldn't be negative about what he's done, but he's quite inexperienced himself.
Morgan, how are you? A scrappy 1-0, but 3 points is 3 points, right?
I had a headache about 3 hours ago. I haven't got one anymore. It was we won the game, didn't we? I agree with what the boys have been saying throughout the show. I think, it wasn't the best performance by no means of the imagination, but we got over that line, and that 5 minutes at the end felt like a very painful 5 minutes. But we got over that line, and now we push on. It's all about getting 3 points. It doesn't matter if you win by 1 goal. It doesn't matter if you win by 6. Ideally, it'd be good to win by 6, of course, but it doesn't matter. Where are we? 4 points in the space of 3 or 4 days. Not bad.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's not bad. And when you look at what he's done, he seemed to make us pretty solid at the back. I mean, there were some ropey moments tonight, but haven't conceded in 3. We've kept a clean sheet. I mean, Rotherham probably should have scored tonight, but they were a threat, Morgan, weren't they? They were a side that were pumping it forward. Their set plays were really good. I mean, their throw-ins, he was practically in the stands to take a run up to launch that ball into the box. Like, they were doing so many things just to get the ball forward. It was a game of contrasting styles, wasn't it?
Yeah, it reminds me a bit like Burnley, an away day to Burnley, although it was at Dean Court. It was they've 2 big centre halves. I think they played 3 centre halves against Surridge at times. I thought it were Asmir Begovic. No one really hit on him just yet. He was fantastic again, and he commanding his box, punching, not letting anyone have a tap in. He was fantastic. That save. I can't remember when it was now, but that save, I think, second half, it was phenomenal. What a save that was. It kept us in the match. He does it week in, week out. No Steve Cook in the side. It was fantastic. Someone just had Vickers was solid as well. I didn't think the back 4 had a bad game, to be honest. Rico looked a little bit terrible at times, but we're always moaning at Rico or Kelly if they're playing left back, aren't we? We're never going to sort that one out until we sign a decent left fullback that can potentially carry on performing at 110% week in, week out and not putting any mistakes wrong. But Begovic was by far incredible, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Keith, how are you going to sum that one up? And what do we need to take into Queen's Park Rangers match at the weekend from tonight? Obviously, a clean sheet's one of them, right?
Yeah, definitely, and the clean sheets gives us a good foundation to go forward. One thing, if we do get Wagner in, he will improve, not necessarily by buying, but he will improve our fullback play because he likes to provide the width through the fullbacks, and he will get the best out of those. So that's something to bear in mind if you look back over the Huddersfield games and what he was doing at Schalke, who are a basket case, a huge club that have political problems internally. You putting that to one side, he does like his width coming from the fullbacks, and I think he will address that through training and coaching and getting them into to play higher up, play with more confidence. But if we can do that, and I actually thought Rico was actually provided some nice balls and got in some good positions. In fact, our left side in the second half looked the stronger of the two. And Smithy actually looks like a different player now. He looks like he's got energy. He wants to get up and down the pitch. His crossing has always been a little bit suspect, but that energy from the fullback positions is going to be crucial going forward. And I like to see that develop. And I actually like also with Carter Vickers and Kelly is having a left-sided, right-sided defensive two there that seem to, like Carter Vickers is obviously the stopper. He's brave and what have you, but Kelly's pace is going to be so useful for sweeping up. And if we can keep that defensive positions going, the defensive unit going forward, I'd just like to see more from Brooks and more from Danjuma to get more involved in the game and not go down cul-de-sac. So the question, I was chatting to Steve on WhatsApp, the question is it worth going for a diamond then and just playing with 2 up top rather than try to play with the wide 3? I know we're tinkering, but it could... you get to play Billing and Lerma, and you can also, you have Lewis Cook, and then you can play at the tip of the diamond will be Wiltshire, and then Surridge, and maybe Denjuma closer in the two. Is that a way forward to get our attack more fluid? I don't know, but and I want to say thank you to all you guys. You're amazing, and it's been hard for me at the moment, and to see all these thank yous and all that, it's quite emotional. So I'm going to leave you guys with the punditry, and hopefully I'll catch up with you, Simon, as well. But thank you very much, and up the Cherries, and let's see how we can go going forward.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. The sexiest man in Milford. There we go. That's Keith Thomas. Thank you so much. And just quickly, Simon, talking Cherries, I think we need to just briefly talk about that for a couple of moments. And Morgan, you've been on a call before, haven't you? And a lot of people that are struggling with lockdown might be able to find a bit of Cherries chat and just a bit of involvement through talking Cherries, right?
Yeah, it was great the other night for everyone that came on, and obviously we talk football 90% of the time, but there's always a part of the call where we check in on everybody and see how you're feeling, whether it's how you're feeling out of 10, whether there's something that's on your mind that you want to talk about, and we just kick back, and it's very relaxed. 90% of it is football. We talk everything else like you do on this, and I know it's difficult to open up and talk about how you feel, and if only we could get together as human beings, the old lockdown effect, and no one really enjoys it, or I know very few people that do. That will make a big difference when we can get together as people again and have proper people time. But in the meantime, we'll do what we can. We're here to listen if anybody needs to, and keep talking football. It's a great groundbreaker, as what happened there exactly with Keith.
So keep talking football in terms of tonight then. Talk us through the goal, because we've not really talked about it, Simon. That's a thing of beauty, wasn't it? We haven't seen that for a long time. And it was Adam Smith that started and, didn't finish the move, but played a crucial part.
Yeah, the whole thing. And it had energy. It had pizzazz. It had transition. It had all those kind of things that you want to see from us in those moments. And I think, as we often say, football's a confidence game. Everything's a confidence game. And I think these players have been out of confidence for a period of time. And one of the first things you want to do is organise it. And that goal, I think, came from the team beginning to understand who goes when and who stays back and shape and all the rest of it. And that's why I was really positive, not only about the goal, but on the whole, yes, we got lucky for moments, but the game, there were bright spots. And I don't think I'm a freak to be saying that. Maybe it's just because I'm in a half glass full mood today. I'm very happy with that. And the goal was great. It was like old school stuff. And Smudger gets a lot of criticism, sometimes rightly, more often than not because he's playing left back when he should be playing right back. I think we all know that Smudge's best position is right back, and he proved it with what he did there. He got stuck in, he did the overlap, he crossed the ball in, boom, goal. Massive positive, and there hasn't been enough of that. So to see him back and getting stuck in and the involvement in the goal, and Phil Bill's calm, his first touch with his left foot to bring that down and then just calmly slot it in the goal. It's great to see his confidence coming back. So all round, I'm sensing a growth in confidence for whatever reasons that is. So I'm positive.
Nice to speak to you. Thank you so much for coming on, Simon. Really appreciate it.
Take care, everybody.
Up the Cherries. Thank you very much. And Morgan, I'll just give you a final thing to say before I speak to Daniel, and also Jamie standing by as well. We got Reece, Steve, Daisy and Joseph as well that we're going to bring in. We're only on for an hour tonight because the player rating show is live. And if you're still watching this, hopefully the video should follow on afterwards. It is a separate video, but it's programmed to do something. If not, you'll be able to find it on our channel. Tom Jordan's doing the rating show. I may be joining in for technical support, but you can basically determine what the scores are for tonight. So, Morgan, man of the match tonight. A lot of people are saying a certain defender. What's your view?
I'm getting it to Phil Billen. Fair play.
Fair play.
It was a fantastic finish. He took a touch. He didn't just smash it and hope it went into the back of the net, and that's what won us the game tonight. I just wanted to say, Sam, you were just talking about mental health with Talking Cherry. I've been I mentioned and a video, I'm sure Sam can put it in the description for anyone who wants to hear. I was lucky enough to get a phone call from Steve Cook over this lockdown period, and it's been very beneficial. I know the community are doing, I know that Asmir Begovic has been checking in on college kids and young children with for mental health awareness day the other day. So there is a lot of stuff going on. So if you are struggling around that, lots of Bournemouth stuff, back of the net are doing lots of content, and there's a lot of stuff on the AFC Bournemouth community sport website. And so, Sam, I've got something special to finish with, if I may.
Go on.
There's 34 minutes to go. TJ's doing a live on back of the net, and this is how it goes because fans are involved in the game. TJ's got a show. It's going to be brilliant, but there is only one Tom Jordan for the manager of Bournemouth.
Sorry, it's not just Morgan. That was brilliant.
And that was
maybe we'll have to work on your rhyming couplets, but apart from that, that could be something from the terraces.
It was made up completely on the spot. I've been doing quite a few. The one with Sam Savage the other day was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, mate.
But anyway,
you've been singing your songs to me on Facebook all week, actually, and some of them have been great. By the way, Morgan, I tweeted about you last week in terms of you and Filippo. Obviously, you got to meet Filippo through Back of the Net, and then last week you were chatting to him on Instagram, weren't you, for about an hour or so? And you liked the guy so much that you've only gone and bought him a shirt out of your own money, and you're sending it to Italy. Is that right?
Yeah, no problem at all. Filippo's a top guy. He always I'll wrap this up within a minute. Filippo's a top guy whenever he comes on the show. I'm sure he'll be on maybe tonight. He's always coming on. He brightens up the day with a smile. This is such a negative situation with the world, how it is. And I just wanted to put a smile on his face. I had an email earlier today to say the shirt is dispatched. And his shirt should be arriving by 3 o'clock tomorrow. So that will be on the way to Filippo. And someone... we got somebody else to put some money in as well. So shout out. What was the name again, Sam?
James Rood also contributed
James
as well.
Rood, sorry. So
you did put in a bit of full money, but
I didn't. So Filippo will also be getting one of these, and that will also be getting sent out to Italy ASAP. So that will be coming as well to Filippo if he's watching. But everyone on Back of the Net's a legend, not just Filippo, but it's been really a nice opportunity to meet fans like Filippo and get a little bit of connection in the outside round overseas as well. So it's a real community at AFC Bournemouth. So thanks very much, guys, and thanks to Sam for hosting all this, because I know it takes time and effort. Thanks, Sam.
Mate, superb. Excellent performance tonight from Morgan Scott. Thanks so much for coming on. Right, Daniel's next. Also going to be in Jamie, because I appreciate it's very late, Jamie. And also we got Reese here. Steve Hensman is waiting in the wings. But firstly, Daniel in Florida. How are you, mate? Are you doing okay? So 1-0 to Bournemouth. You are muted at the moment. I'll just unmute you now. It wasn't the best game, but we got the job done, didn't we, mate?
Yeah. If it's okay to know, how did you get Simon Francis on the show? Because I think he's like, when you announced it, I said he was going to be on, but it's like a very hard one. How does it work?
Well, we asked him, and he said, yeah. So basically, we've got, Jeff's the man. Jeff's the man who sort of sorts all the interviews out. And you know what? Frano is a big name, and we put him in the same bracket, obviously, as Tommy Elphick, Pewey, Matt Ritchie, who have been on the channel before, people like that, Jan Kermigan. So Simon Francis is going to be so interesting to chat to, and also he's got a role at AFC Bournemouth at the moment. But yeah, we asked him, he said yes. But equally, I'm excited about the next 3 names as well, because they are really interesting people who are associated with AFC Bournemouth, not least a former manager next week as well, that we're really looking forward to. So we'll be providing that information a bit later on. But yeah, Frano's on Sunday night, so do subscribe to check that out, and make sure you give this video a like. Did you like tonight's performance, Daniel?
Yeah, it was a performance we when was our last like nil, like scoring more goals than the other team, like 0 until the goal? I feel like we haven't done that in a while. We didn't score that much, but they were a very good team, so we're just glad that we beat them. And I don't know, but I think we played not that bad, but we played pretty good. We just need to focus on more attacking than like always going back to defense.
Yeah, absolutely agree with what you said there. Jamie, how are you, mate? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Pleased with the win.
Thank you so much for hanging on. Appreciate it. It's late in the night, but we got the 3 points. Could Rotherham consider themselves a bit unlucky not to have earned anything out of that, because they had a few chances, didn't they?
Yeah, they should have scored at least 2 goals in that game.
Who's your man of the match for AFC Bournemouth tonight?
Billing, Vickers, or Begovic, one of those 3.
Yeah, Cameron Carter-Vickers also seems to be looking pretty good at back. Do you think his partnership with Lloyd Kelly can be something that can flourish? I mean, I've heard that there's only 2 weeks away for Steve Cook, which is a good thing, but him and Kelly actually looked all right tonight, didn't they?
Yeah, it's good that they've done that, kept a clean sheet without Cook in the side, and they've boosted without Cook, and they've progressed.
Mate, I feel as though I need to ask you for your opinion on the next AFC Bournemouth manager. You'll have heard loads of names being mentioned. Who ticks all the boxes for you? Who would you like to be in charge of AFC Bournemouth?
I haven't seen a lot because I've been moving house, so I haven't been able to keep up to date. But
yeah,
I don't know how to say his name, like Wagner. He's probably the one that I want.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so Sam Surridge is a player that's been underused, I think, recently. Shane Long seems to have got the nod to play up front. Do you think Sam did enough tonight to be starting against Queen's Park Rangers on Saturday?
He played better when he'd been coming off the bench. In my opinion, he should come off the bench half time maybe, because that's when he's been playing better, not the full 90.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. Jamie, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it was short. Nice one. Really appreciate your input once again. That's Jamie/TWR Ghost. Thanks so much. Steve Hensman is going to be the last person we're going to have in tonight, actually, because we're going to be off air in 12 minutes as we do the player rating show with Tom. But firstly, Reese, how are you, buddy?
I'm great. You know what we should do? We should give Woodgate that contract.
I can only just hear you, mate. You might have to put your mic nearer to your mouth or whatever, or if there's a volume button there.
Hear me better now?
Yeah, I can. If you speak like that, you're going to have to speak like you're in a call centre, mate, but it's going to be fine.
All right. So in my opinion, I think Woodgate should be given the contract. He's a new person in the dressing room. I know it's more like to but in my opinion, we showed heart, we showed desire, we showed most of the other games we played, the losses, the draws, the boring games, we've shown heart, we've shown determination to get the 3 points. I know it's a scrappy 1-0 win, but I forgot who said it. If we get promoted, this will be a game to remember. Well, to help us to the 3 points. But what I'm unhappy about is I don't want Thierry Henry to be the next Bournemouth manager. I think he will potentially get us relegated to League One if we have him. I honestly don't think he's the right man. I really think it's either Woodgate or Nigel Pearson, because I'm a big fan of Nigel Pearson. He's a good manager. He's had experience with that. I just think either Nigel Pearson or even Frank Lampard. He almost got Derby promoted.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is with Frank Lampard, he loses out on that 1.8 million if he actually takes a job. I think he's got a certain window whereby if he takes a job, he loses out on money being paid to him from Chelsea. So would you take a job where the pressure's on, or would you just sit there and have 2 million deposited in your bank account? I know what I'd rather do. But yeah, I think, it is weird, right, that people were well against John Terry, but they're also open to other people as well. Now, Thierry Henry's track record isn't isn't particularly great. Obviously, as a player, he's well decorated, just like John Terry is. But do you think someone's playing experience can actually sort of translate into management, Reese?
Not necessarily. It could be like you never know. The championship is a weird league. Anything can happen. Like you saw tonight with QPR with Brentford. Anything can happen, but it's too much of a high risk to put Thierry Henry at this stage of the season. It's too high of a risk to give him the managerial responsibility. I personally wouldn't trust him. But I just want to say something. I just want to say a massive thank you for using your whole time with this I forgot what it's called.
Back in the net.
Free fall. Yeah, back in the net.
Sorry.
Back everything. Yes, for the free fall. For everything, man. Like,
where are we?
Before you were here, yeah, that we had nothing. We had nothing. Like, other clubs like Arsenal Fan TV, Chelsea, like those YouTube channels, and I'm happy that you're making your ground. You're literally popping in subscribers. 1 minute you're like at 65 followers. Next minute you're at 2 point something K.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Really appreciate it. Your audio's cutting up, but I really appreciate you coming on. That's thank you so much. That's like Steve. That's like driving down the motorway with TalkSport on like medium wave, and every so often it dips in and out. It's like, oh, that audio is hard to bear.
It's funny you should say that, mate.
Go on.
I've got a DAB radio in my van, and so it's perfect on TalkSport. But when I have to drive one of the other guys' vans over, I have to convert to medium wave, and it is exactly like that.
It's absolutely horrible. A very patchy, just like our performance tonight, eh? Seamless.
Yeah, a little bit. Like we said before, it wasn't it wasn't a pretty game to watch. It never will be against Rotherham, will it? They're always going to make it an ugly affair. But I think we dealt with a lot well defensively tonight. I think we thought we looked really, really solid as a defensive unit. I know we had our moments where, they'll always cause you a couple of problems. But I thought on the whole, Carter Vickers, for me, just classy defender. I said, Keith's alluded to earlier, we were sort of chatting, and I said he just reads the game very well. He makes sensible decisions. He does the simple stuff, and he does it very, very well. And I think I don't know if him and Cook will be the answer, or him and Kelly, but him and Kelly looked really, really good tonight, I thought.
Yeah, agreed. By the way, Steve, there's been some comments about your shirt tonight, and that was from the Wembley season, I think.
Look at this.
That's a thing of beauty. Signed as well by Eddie Howe. Oh my God! Hang on a sec, mate. Let me put you on full screen. Let's see that again. What a thing of beauty! How much would that go for now? My goodness,
it's priceless, mate. That is.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't get rid of that. And hey, that's the kit we played in when we went to Wembley. We could be going there 3 times this season. One in the playoff final, one for the semi, and one for the final of the FA Cup. You never know.
Well, that's why I'm wearing it. I'm getting it ready. Getting the mothballs out of it.
Yeah, love it. So, Daniel, it was never going to be easy tonight, was it? But we did what we had to do. Firstly, man of the match from you, mate, because I don't think we've had that from you. Who do you think should be 100% starting in the next game? I found it interesting how the commentator actually on Sky Sports tonight said that Dan June is always the first name on the team sheet, but it's like, really? But Daniel, man of the match for you tonight?
My opinion, it will be Smith, because without Smith, there would be no goal with that pass. No goal without Smith. Smith has been playing way better than he usually plays, so I think he deserves it because he has kind of been struggling, and the way he played today was really good, so I'd like to see him start.
Daniel, you're a legend. Thanks so much for coming on. Daniel from Florida, nice one. We can't not have this man on. We've got 5 minutes to go. Here he is, the man, the legend, soon to be recipient of a shirt from Morgan Scott. Filippo, how are you?
Yeah, I am just in time. Yeah, I'm fine. And
just in time.
Hi, Filippo.
Yeah, hi, Steve. Hi, everybody. So, today we were not yet convincing at all, but it's okay. I am okay with the 3 points. So we have just to we have to make points in the table. So let's make it only, and let's concentrate only on the win. Don't matter how it will come.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't brilliant. I mean, we want to be seeing certain, good signs, and we saw that for the goal, didn't we? That was like watching Bournemouth in the Premier League. It only felt like about 5 or 6 seconds after Smith headed it out to Surridge that the ball was in the back of the net. What a move that was!
Yeah, that was a very, very good counter-attack. Yeah, it really was a good action, and from that goal, from that passing series, I expected to be also more don't know how to say, more confident in the second half.
Yeah,
but they still they still struggled. Yeah, Rotherham made another game, just like the reverse game we played in November away to them. So we still struggle, but the very important thing is only the 3 points.
Yeah.
So for the game against QPR on Saturday, let's only be more convincing, but get the win. Only get the win without. That's the way. Without looking at the table. As I say,
it starts, mate. I could go through these. Look at this. I could be here all day. You know what?
Thank you, guys.
I think you've summed it up well. And you know what? I'll cross to Steve for your closing remark on today. Give us some positives that we can take into the weekend.
Well, we can take Philip Billing as a positive, a massive positive, because I actually. He's convincing me a lot more in the position he's playing now. I think he's actually put Jack Wilshere on the bench. I think he's probably first pick for that spot now. The way he's played it in the last 2 times he's had a go at it. Very nice. He links up the play. He doesn't have to. We don't have to rely on him to do defensive work so much, which I don't think is his strong point. And I just think Woodgate deserves a little bit of credit because he has, those are the sorts of games we were losing before. It's kind of like harping back to Burnley in the Premier League, isn't it? And we would fold and we'd sort of show our soft underbelly. But he seems to have instilled a bit of steeliness, whether that's to do with the formation, with the 2 protective midfielders in there. I don't know. But whoever comes in, again, I'm not convinced with many of the names, if at all, but I'd like to see Jonathan get a chance to stay at the club. I hope he does, because I think whatever he's doing is certainly getting a reaction from the players. I felt a bit sorry for Sam Surridge tonight again. I thought he run his socks off. He created a lot of space, but he didn't really look a goal threat, which was a bit unfortunate for him. So I hope he gets another chance, but I can see Shane Long coming back in. But on the whole, I think we've. Sorry, Filippo?
Maybe already is getting his chance on Saturday.
Well, I hope so. I hope he gets a bit of a run, because I think he needs a bit of a run. I don't think you can just count on a striker to come in and hit the ground running all the time. They need game time.
Well, you know what, guys? It's been a pleasure, but we've got to wrap up because the player rating show is going to be live in 1 minute's time. But Filippo, I can't let you go before.
Go on, Filippo.
Come on.
Thanks, Sam. Up the Cherries.
Up the Cherries. Steve, thanks very much for coming on, mate.
No worries, buddy.
And also Filippo. Cheers, bud.
Thanks, Sam. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. So, if you're watching on YouTube, the video should automatically follow on to the player ratings. I'm going to pop over to that as well, and I'm going to help Tom out. If you want to get involved, you can have your say, and we're going to do it all live. Appreciate you liking this video and staying around. It is very late, but until the next one, see you soon.